So we have just hit 10 years of Wildwood. And so I'm keen to ask every founder that I meet, did you always want to be a founder? Was that your ambition?
Yes, weirdly, from quite early on. But I guess I didn't fully clock it. I was always saying out loud in interviews or whatever else I wanted to have my own company. But I don't think I think I thought it as a bit of a pipe dream. I didn't really plot it out. So I knew that I wanted to meet amazing co-founders before I did it, which I'm very lucky that I did. But that was just a bit serendipitous. I kind of didn't have a kind of plan between the aspiration to do it and then when was it going to happen.
Yeah.
And as a result, I guess I missed out on learning on other people's dime as much as I probably should have done. I think that was that was a moment, really.
So Uncommon is 8 years old. Can you just tell me what one standout joyful moment has been and potentially what the hardest moment has been for you?
Hilariously, I guess the most joyful moment was probably when we first got email. I know, ridiculous. I think that's when it felt real. I know that sounds so bonkers, but that was
when you created.
When we first started Uncommon, the three of us were sat there and we sent each other an email. I have to go and dig them out at some point, but we were like, oh my God, this is real. Because before then it just felt like three of us with a bit of a pipe dream.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to hear what those emails.
I think it was just like, hi.
Oh,
I know, a bit boring. But we were delighted. And I think it felt like the start of something then.
Yeah.
But there's been tons of joyful moments since. And I guess the kind of balance, the hardest thing of building any company is obviously scaling it. And in particular, how do you nurture brilliant talent? So how do you find those incredible people and create space for them? There's a job to be done, but that's not how you hire people. So how do you make sure that that the place works, that you're building a company that they want to work at, and that they recognise that they, particularly when you're starting something, that they have a chance to build the company they want to work at. So there's a real
Surely loads of people called you three up and were like, I'm dying to work with you.
Yes, they did, and we're super, super lucky. It's not necessarily about there not being enough talent out there. There's lots of incredible people in our industry, but it's about making sure that's the right fit for them and for us.
Yeah.
You know, it's a two-way relationship.
100%.
Otherwise, if there's just a job to be done and we just need bodies to fill it, then that's not how you build a company. It's not how you build a culture. And someone could be absolutely phenomenal at their job, but just not be quite right at our place.
Yeah.
And likewise, you know, I wouldn't fit into every other company. That's the reason I started my own. But I think that recognition that that actually, as individuals, when people do start, that they can contribute more than just the job to be done.
Yeah.
That whilst they're with us, we've got lots of people that have gone on this journey where they've started in one role and haven't just been promoted, they've also changed what their career path is as a result, because we're recognising what they're brilliant at and where they can pivot to. But that comes with its challenges, because you bring on ambitious, brilliant people, and they're hard to manage. I know I was really hard to manage as a bright and ambitious person, and I think that is one of the hardest challenges. And you also end up with challenges of, you know, people life, and we don't get to do it without brilliant talent. So we have to bend and flex to what happens in their lives, and that's hard, but it's important.
So what advice would you give someone starting an agency today?
I think the biggest thing, regardless of when you're starting and what you're starting, is to park your ego at the door. You've just got to ask lots of questions. Don't assume you know anything. And that doesn't mean to don't conflate that with not having confidence. I think you should absolutely back yourself. That's what you're doing when you start a business. But at the same time, being able to ask experts, ask other people. It's amazing how generous everyone is in our industry, but I think just generally, when you're starting something, they appreciate that endeavour, and they really do want you to win. They want you to succeed. I think as a country, we're incredibly good at backing entrepreneurs. We're not very good at helping businesses scale, but we are very good at backing entrepreneurs. And I think we're quite entrepreneurial as a nation. So I think just ask lots and lots of questions of the people that have come before you or the experts around you, and you'll get there faster.
I think we all need to remember as well to back each other
Yeah.
because I was saying we'd hit 10 years and I gave a speech and I was like, very grateful to the people who gave us our first briefs, took our calls, gave us some advice, gave us a go.
Mhm.
And I think if we are to stay entrepreneurial, we all need to remember that and give each other a go and spot the talent and just say yes sometimes.
Yeah. I think what's interesting in our industry, in people starting businesses, is that there was a more obvious path, probably even 5, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
which was you start a small company, it gets bought by one of the big fish after 5 to 7 years, and then, you know, and then you merge in or do whatever you need to do. That path has been completely blown up with everything that's going on with the holding
Mm.
companies. So I think that's actually really exciting because it actually allows us to feel there's a different path. Now, private equity is obviously one option, which isn't for everyone, but that is one option. But also just being able to create a company that maybe goes the distance or is just built in a different way. It means from the outset you're building something quite different.
Yeah.
And I'd encourage people to think about what the end point is. It
Mm.
doesn't have to be a denouement moment, but what is the moment, or how are you feeling about why you want this company in the world, and how it should exist in 10 years beyond yourself.
Because there's a lot of other paths to selling, isn't there?
There
There's
is.
partnerships, there's building up your people to take over,
Totally.
there's many different models, but you're right, we're not stuck in, "Oh, they did that and got their payout and now they've left." You don't have to do that.
Yeah.